hard to miss. All those St. Jude commercials that are constantly on TV. But we decided to go online and see what more we could find out. First of all, about the money. We found out that St. Jude is a lot more than just a hospital in Tennessee. It is a multi-billion-dollar enterprise. According to the latest reporting, in early 2026, St. Jude and their fundraising arm, ALSAC, had combined assets of $13.10 billion. Their reserve assets are $10 billion. In the year 2024, their CEO received over $2 million in compensation. 9 executives received over $1 million in compensation. 3 of their executives received compensation in the 6 figures. That same year, ALSAC raised $2.9 billion. 10 of their executives received compensation in the 6 figures. According to ProPublica, St. Jude has received millions of dollars from parents' insurance plans because the majority of parents who come to St. Jude have health insurance. If they don't have health insurance, ProPublica tells us that St. Jude will direct them to people who can help them get insurance. Yes, it's true. Parents aren't billed directly. Like all doctors and hospitals, St. Jude bills insurance companies. St. Jude tells us in their commercials that their survival rate has gone up from 20% to 80%. We can't verify that, but that's what they say. So exactly what is survival rate? We decided to go online and find that out. For any disease, if you live, usually the number is 5 years beyond treatment. You're part of that percentage. You can be sick and dying and filled with drugs and die a month later. But if you can hang in there for 5 years, you're part of the survival rate, even if you're dead. We wanted to find out the actual mortality rate. How many children die at St. Jude? How many children die of cancer and related illnesses after they're discharged? How many children keep going back and forth to St. Jude because their tumors keep coming back? How many live into adulthood and beyond? We tried several sources, but couldn't find any of those figures. We went to the St. Jude website to read about the various experimental treatments they use on the children. And most of the ones that we read involve some sort of chemicals, chemotherapy, and radiation. Now, all of us have family and friends who have decided to get chemotherapy and radiation when they got cancer. And as we look at those bald babies in the commercials and hear about how their brain tumors are being treated and how the tumors keep coming back in other parts of their bodies, we wonder if those little babies are suffering as much as our friends and family suffered. The fact is, no one knows better than the vivisectors that you cannot extrapolate experiments on animals to human beings. Doesn't work. It's not science. It doesn't bring about cures. Just ask the Cancer Society or Alzheimer's researchers. They've been experimenting on animals for over 100 years, and they're still asking for donations to find a cure. Tragically, St. Jude has announced a $12.9 billion 6-year plan to expand their global research and treatment. In our opinion, if that plan goes forward, many millions more animals will be brutalized. And of course, no cure will ever come from all of that terrible cruelty. But the big question is, where's the cure to childhood cancer that Danny Thomas promised 64 years ago when he founded St. Jude? After 64 years of looking and billions of dollars in donations later, where's the cure? Not more drugs and chemotherapy and radiation and amputating children's limbs, but the cure. Where is it? Where are they looking? They're looking where almost all disease organizations look for the cure, by experimenting on animals. According to online information, St. Jude experiments on approximately 500 to 800 dogs, cats, monkeys, rabbits every year. The Animal Welfare Act doesn't require St. Jude and other vivisectors to report on how many small animals they experiment on. Tens of millions of small animals are tortured and killed in vivisection labs every year, and the government won't even acknowledge they exist. So why do disease organizations like St. Jude and the Cancer Society and Komen and the Alzheimer's Association and Parkinson's Foundation and all the rest, why do they keep experimenting on animals when they know that no cure is forthcoming? The answer to that is because they're all a part of the billion-dollar vivisection industry. And if they never announce a cure, the donations will just keep flowing endlessly into their overflowing coffers. What would happen if the cancer industry announced that there are cures to cancer, natural cures that work? What would happen if they admitted that the answer to cancer is getting toxins out of the environment and pesticides out of our food and stopping injecting poison into our children? What if all the disease organizations admitted to their donors that no cure is ever going to come from them torturing animals in their laboratories? If they admitted all that, what would happen to the massive disease organization empire and all those $1 million salaries? Would it all fall apart as people stop donating, discover non-toxic cures, take charge of their health and that of their children? We could only hope that happens. Finally, using babies and children to raise money and sell products has been going on for decades because it's very effective. And in our opinion, no one does it better or more often than St. Jude. We don't have hundreds of millions of dollars to spend on commercials. So as we see it, all the sick and dying children and the millions of animals trapped in vivisection laboratories only have you finding the truth and you sharing it with as many people as you can. You are their real hope and their salvation. Don't let them down. Thank you.